Welcome to Biocanic's Health Intelligence Exchange community, where leading practitioners in integrative health approaches will discuss how they solve the most challenging and common health issues. These regular Q&A discussions are designed to take a deep dive into case studies and integrative approaches in order to elevate the collective knowledge of both experienced and new practitioners alike. Biocanic's Health Intelligence Exchange, your community for functional medicine.
Welcome to the Health Intelligence Exchange. I'm Nicole Boers at Biocanic, and today our guest is Tracy Stroup, Chief Health and Growth Officer at the GetHealthy Store, who's here to discuss how you can increase your income with an e-commerce store designed for your health practice. Dr. Tracy Stroup is a naturopathic doctor, certified natural health professional, level 2 digestive specialist, master herbalist, and fitness professional with over 25 years of experience in the health and wellness industry. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Exercise and Sports Science from Pennsylvania State University and has built a career that bridges clinical practice, education, innovation, and leadership. As Chief Health and Growth Officer at GetHealthy Store, Dr. Stroup leads an innovative practitioner-centric platform that empowers clinicians to create, manage, and scale their own online dispensaries, offering personalized care and products to their clients. She is also a speaker, author, educator, and natural health business consultant who has spent her career helping practitioners build sustainable, revenue-generating health businesses. So much for joining us, Tracy. Let's jump right in. How are you?
Well, good. Thank you for having me. And as always, the dogs bark as soon as we get started. So
they've got a lot to say. So Tracy, you've spent over 25 years in natural health as a naturopathic doctor, clinical practitioner, and now as Chief Health and Growth Officer at GetHealthy Store. Can you walk us through what led you to GetHealthy Store? What problems maybe you saw in the practitioner market that you were kind of looking to solve with this?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I am a practitioner, so I have an online clinic. I do telehealth. I have a store. I think I have all the real world problems that most practitioners have. I was actually consulting with a brand when I met John Armstrong, who is the CEO over at GetHealthy Stores. And the brand was actually onboarding to the catalog. So for those that aren't familiar with GetHealthy Stores, we house a catalog of 12,000 products, 300 plus brands across all different wellness categories, from supplements, food, nutrition, personal care, energetics, equipment, etc. And I just found the concept fascinating. So upon talking with him, we just got into, how can we make this tool better for practitioners? Because he came out of ecom. He was in advertising. His top client was Amazon. So he understood the market with ecom and having a front-facing store, but the practitioner channel wasn't his specialty. That was mine. So through conversations, just came to pass that I started working for GetHealthy in about 2021. And I have to say, from that time to now, I have learned a ton about the value of having the right tools in your practice, about having an online store, about having product available that you like and trust for your patients so that they can like and trust it. And then having the right softwares to connect to it, like Biocanic. So that's kind of how I got here in a very short summary.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you want to speak a little bit to kind of what really sets you apart from maybe some of the other stores that are out there, and really how you approached it a little bit differently with the way that you all run the practitioner side?
Yeah, so I think in ecom, if that's what we're talking about, of having an online store where your clients and patients can come shop, we're a little bit different than Shopify and WooCommerce, which are good tools, but they're very big and scary tools. It's going to require somebody who understands those systems to build your store, to build your product pages, your pricing, your details, to update the pricing, to keep the software up to date. So the technological burden for a practitioner to understand how to do that on their own, or how to hire somebody or have the capital to hire somebody, I believe that's where we can differentiate ourselves at GetHealthy. We actually provide you and release you from the technological burden and still provide you with a full-facing online store where you can pick and choose the catalog that you want on there. again, across so many different wellness products. So you're basically building an online presence in the wellness space with an eclectic collection of wellness products that you can talk about as a lifestyle practitioner. I mean, I talk about more than supplements. I'm sure that most of the practitioners here do as well. So that's one of the things that differentiates us from the e-com space. On the dispensary side, our competitors, they have a branded experience that is their branded experience. So with Get Healthy Store, we actually combine that front-facing store concept with a dispensary concept where you as the practitioner can log in and create recommendations, templates, protocols. We also have integrated testing, and you can also provide links to, your favorite red light panel or PEMF mat within your recommendation. So our recommendation tool and front-facing e-com platform are all one tool, and they are branded to the practitioner. So they look like you, they have your logo, your colors. We're not a third-party system that markets to your patients. We build the store for you, maintain the technology, maintain the catalog, and maintain all the updates so that you don't have to. So those are just a few things. I mean, there's several more, but that's probably the biggest thing that people ask me is, how are we different? That's probably the thing that I would point to.
Yeah, and I will definitely speak to that when you talk about not just recommending supplements. It's like, if you're going to be sending them to one place, now they can kind of get everything in one place, and they're not, maybe going off on Amazon to try to find something, which I definitely don't want people going, over there to get any of their supplements either. So I think really seeing the value of being able to provide all those, really a very comprehensive wellness store rather than just like a supplement dispensary, it sounds like.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I love the way that it is able to be custom branded as well without having to go through what it would take to create a custom store, which is quite a bit, especially for busy practitioners.
Yeah. And I think people just get burdened with the fact that they don't know who to hire, and the cost of initial setup of that. I mean, you're looking at anywhere from $3,000 to $12,000, depending on how many SKUs of product you have. And then let's not even talk about fulfillment, right? So if you're carrying all this product in your office, somebody's got to pick, pack, and ship it and send it out to the person that's buying it. We actually have integrations with the brands that are on our catalog, and we have 2 warehouses. So we can make that fulfillment easy. So think of all the brands that like, and love. Those can simply be drop shipped from the brand on your behalf, and you collect payment on the front end of your store through your patients at retail, and you get paid your commission the same day. So we try to make this easy because we know that practitioners are just practicing. That's what they're here to do. None of us signed up to be marketers or front desk attendants or inventory managers. Like, that's not what I went to school for. But the reality of it is, if you come out and you're an integrative practitioner, the reality is you have to be all those things, because most of us become business owners and entrepreneurs. It's very rare that we go work for a health system. In fact, when I graduated, there weren't any health systems to work for. I had to create my own business. So very quickly, I had to learn about inventory management and projections. Well, if there's a company out there that will do that for me, like Get Healthy, that's what I want. So that was one of the biggest things for me that turned me on to Get Healthy, was the fact that I didn't have to ship product to people. I was like, this is great. And even if I work with brands and they have a drop ship option, I still have to go back and bill my client for that product. Now, that doesn't have to happen. Get Healthy, puts out that retail price. They pay it. The brand gets paid. I get paid. Everybody gets paid. And the product is shipped automatically. So there's just little problems that practitioners have that require our time. And time is probably the most precious thing to a practitioner. Just having the time to finish their day, finish their protocols. And then if I have to go back and bill people, I know I'm going to slack on that, and then I'm going to lose revenue. So we really try to honor the practitioner's time and their patient list to help get good products so that the compliancy is high and so that people actually do get better.
Yeah, I love that. And speaking to that time aspect, it's like, we always talk about how practitioners don't usually burn out from too much client care or patient care. Typically what it is you're burning out from having to follow up and send that invoice and make sure that they're receiving this, or check in and make sure that they ordered this. And so it sounds like you're working on reducing a lot of that administrative overhead, as well as providing, an additional revenue stream. And on that note, can we speak a little bit? It sounds like people can kind of start to see revenue as soon as they kind of start working with clients. Can you kind of talk about what it looks like when somebody does get started, what that kind of onboarding looks like? What does it take to get started? And then how quickly they can kind of expect to see some revenue from this?
Oh, yeah, immediately. So if you have a current client list, you're seeing people in your office. If you want to have a Get Healthy store, it's very simple. We send you a series of emails and we move as fast as you do. Your first email that you get is welcome, name your store. What do you want your URL to be called? Then we collect your logo. We collect the colors, your hex colors, if you're not sure of what those are, because again, we're not marketers. We're not design professionals. We're, healthcare professionals. We can go to your website if you have one, and we can pull colors from that so that, the experience when people click the shop tab or wellness tab or buy supplements tab on your website and it takes them to your Get Healthy store, it looks like you. The experience in their mind is the same. Once you do that, you can pick your brands, which is simply a click of a button, your favorite brands. You don't have to choose the entire brand if you don't want to. If you just want specific products, that will be great. You can just add those to your store. Then we send you a way to get paid. You put in your bank account so that we can pay you because we love to pay you. And that's about as difficult as it is. Once you have all of those bouncing balls done in a series of about 5 emails, you'll get an email that says your store is ready, go log in. And you can log in and you can start your first recommendation. You can create, bundles if you want to. You can go do an email blast. It says, hey guys, I just got a brand new store. Would love for you to check it out, and send the link to your store and start selling the exact same day. So I usually tell people it takes about 5 days tops. If you follow the emails and give us the information, we can have your store up and functioning within 5 days.
Amazing. That really is the quickest e-commerce start to working, as I have heard in a long time. To switch topics a little bit, you've talked about helping practitioners sell with dignity. Can you unpack a little bit about what that means? Because I know that there's a lot of practitioners that feel kind of uncomfortable around, the revenue side of their business or kind of the products and kind of the integrity around all of that. So if you could speak to that, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I just did all the statistics on supplements and growth. So 91% of the population thinks supplements are important. 70+% actually use supplements. And it is projected to be a $26.6 billion industry next year. So somebody's selling supplements, somebody's buying supplements. It's a really important thing to realize that in our educated community right now, after COVID, people became very aware that they need to be healthier. Now, is everybody healthier? No, or we would be out of a job. So our job is to direct them to the best quality supplements. And I really think it's a disservice when somebody is as talented as most of the practitioners that we know that are here don't talk about supplements and the brands that they trust and what they have found in clinic actually works. Because there's a ton of influencers out there, and there's all these AI generated content now, done by 20 somethings. No offense to them. If they're health gurus and you're brilliant, that's wonderful. But I don't want to be competing with some 17-year-old in their mom's basement using an AI generated content when I actually know what works for people with condition X, Y, or Z. And that's where we all have to get to. So number one, let people know that you have supplements that you trust, that you have vetted, and that you have used in your clinic with your patients and clients that actually work, and then point people where to get them. And that should be your own store. Amazon does not care if they look like they're selling to your clients. They absolutely want to. And the number one converting factor for why people buy supplements is convenience, not price. They're no longer price shopping because people are actually learning about raw ingredients and product synergy and ingredients panels and, what are most bioavailable nutrients. They're smart. So they understand that if they want the quality, they'll have to pay for it. But if you make it difficult for them to get their supplement, if they have to call you on the phone, if they have to come into your clinic for a refill, They will not do it. They're going to go to a place that's more convenient than you. That's usually Amazon or some other big online distributor. So think about that. You have to make people aware that you have supplements that they can purchase. You don't have to sell them, because if you've done your job as a practitioner, you've sat in the chair, you've educated, you've talked to them about the benefits of health, and they have received results from the protocols you've given them, they are going to do what's called a reflective purchase. They have been educated, they have reflected on that education, and they understand that what you're saying and what you are recommending is valuable, and they will buy it. So it's no longer selling. I mean, I don't want to dwindle it down to a used car salesman, but think about it. How many of you walk into a car to buy a car and you actually need a salesman to sell you? What do you need that salesman for? You need him to push the papers across the desk for you to sign it. You already know what car you want, what color, what the interior looks like, what upgrades you're looking for, because you've done your research and you've been educated on what the best kind of car is for your family and your life. That's the same thing with us. If we have done our job, people know exactly what kind of supplement they want, why they want it, how they apply it, and what they're looking at it for. So you need to have an online store. You absolutely do in this time frame of supplements and education and people's health. It's 100% necessary. It's no longer an option.
Yeah. And I would say that if, we're talking about kind of integrity, it's almost a disservice to say, hey, I'm a practitioner and I have this and I'm going to refer you over here, when it's like, I think that's probably the number one thing as a practitioner that I got asked, like, what should I take for this? Even before people were working with me or after or whatever, it was like, what supplement should I take for this? What supplement should I take? Or what do you recommend? Which vitamin is the best, or something like that. And so I think to say like, hey, you trust me, here's my store, like that makes it easy for them. And it actually, makes you, I feel like, work more in integrity, because you're recommending something that you trust, that you recommend all the time, and you're making it really easy for them to get the results that they want.
100%. You're 100% correct. And, to further take that to the next level, it's so confusing for them out there to know what products. So you are the ambassador that they're coming to. No offense against Amazon. I love Amazon. Everybody loves Amazon, but they don't have somebody over there answering their questions on what's the best form of folate. What's most bioavailable with my MTHFR mutation. But you do, because you're the professional that they trust. So they're going to call you up and ask you. It's going to make you more inclined to answer the question too. I mean, I know I don't personally love when someone's like, hey, I didn't buy this supplement from you, but how do I take it? I don't want to answer those questions, because I have people that have already invested in their health, in their time with me, that I'm going to answer first. I may not answer that other person at all. So it's really important that we take care of the health of our business as much as the health of our clients, so that you can stay in business, so that you are there to answer the questions. You're totally right. The biggest disservice is sending them out into a sea of supplements where they don't know what they're looking at. They're not there to be experts. They're really on you to be the expert. So I totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So let's talk about, you've worked with some incredible practitioners and brands, including Dr. Tom O'Brien, Dr. Terry Walls. What is the most common mistake you see established practitioners make when they try to build a scalable product revenue stream? And what does fixing that mistake kind of look like in practice?
Yeah, well, first, if we're talking about just influencers or what I call the clinical influencers, people that have great clinical influence and reputation, and they're out there and they have followers, the worst thing you can do is give someone a disconnected experience. Go over here and get this red light. Go over there and get this supplement. Oh, wait, go here to this. What happens is your clients get confused. They don't feel well. They end up paying shipping over here. So connecting the experience is really good, because if you can send them to one place and make it easy, that is really going to help. The second big mistake is they get in the way. Like, if your brand is reliant on your time, then it's not as scalable as you think it is, because it's always going to require more of your time. So there's the in the chair transaction, right? Me sitting with a client who I'm helping through their health journey. And then there's me sitting in this little box, and I'm talking to the masses about their health and things that I really think are important for their health. The talking to the masses, the one-to-many is more scalable. Again, you need some place to point them back to that makes them feel safe. So we want to take our genius, our concept, and do the transaction, right? The one-to-one, but the one-to-many is where it's going to scale. The third thing I would say is having the right tools to be scalable. So I would connect these 3 tools very simply: Biocanic, GetHealthy Store, Go High Level. 1, 2, 3. So you have the Biocanic, which is going to be your management system. It's going to help you stay organized with your protocols and your client list and all of that. That's your transaction. But that person who is in your care may come to get a recommendation from your GetHealthy Store, but then they're also going to shop for little Jimmy, maybe their husband. They want to get a multivitamin. Oh, wait, you have personal care items. Let me get some, face wash. Oh, I love your natural cleaning products. I'm going to buy that because I'm really into my lifestyle now. And now they're skimming across your PEMF mats and what you have available. So let's say they land on, a fringe mat and they buy it. Now, behind that purchase, you could have a trigger in Go High Level that creates a sequence or flow that starts to continually nurture them on products that might go well when they're using their PEMF mat, or what kind of nutrition is the best for optimizing alkalinity in the body, whatever you want to set that sequence up. So the connection of having the right tools and having those talk to each other are extremely important. And that's why we partnered with Biocanic, because we saw what you guys were doing and coming in with this concept of helping health professionals have the right management system for their patients. And then we stepped in with the embeddable app for Biocanic and having a store, being able to recommend products, but then also supplying you with a front-end shopping experience for your practitioners, clients, and patients. And then lo and behold, we all integrated with Go High Level. And now you can have a second experience where not only in Biocanic, but on your GetHealthy Store, you can amplify that education without your time being the friction point. So I would say for practitioners, it's really important to have the right tools, the right connections, and then the right team to implement it. And that would be the next thing, is hire your weakness. Once you start scaling and you're getting this money, don't go on a cruise. Not yet. Hire your weakness, hire that VA, that virtual assistant, hire that marketing person that can work a few hours in your system so that they can continue to build. That's what I see with people. They influence, they start to scale a little bit, and then they get stuck because their systems aren't communicating. They're not capitalizing on their own brain power and taking it one to many. That's where I would say most people need to go.
Yeah, I would fully agree with you there. And systems, I'm such a systems nerd. So yes, big fan of systems. And I always like to kind of remind people too, yes, sometimes up front, you will have to hire the right VA. You'll have to figure out maybe what those triggers are. So if somebody buys something, what's going to happen? So it does take a little bit of thought and a little bit of planning. And, I do recommend, especially working with a VA for kind of setting up those types of automations. But once you get that set up, there's no extra time, and that ends up being extra revenue down the line. So that's really setting you up to bring in extra revenue. So you spend a little time now, and then moving forward, you can have hundreds or thousands of people going through that same process and still getting marketed to, and still, upselling them to, or kind of nurturing them in that way. And I'll say also with the supplements, I've had people that I've worked with in the past, and they might not be working with me anymore, but they're still taking some of the same supplements, or they're still going to supplements. So even once you stop working with somebody, when you're thinking about your client life cycle, having a store really kind of extends that client life cycle. So they're like, oh, I'm going to you, for supplements well after I've worked with you. Or even before that, I'm coming to you for supplements, and now I trust you. And so now I want to actually work with you maybe in the bigger program. So I can kind of see how the store kind of fits into both sides of it, as kind of the acquisition as well as, further client retention.
Yes, absolutely. It works.
Yeah. And I do want to speak, thank you for bringing up, Biocanic and Go High Level. Definitely, having that kind of end-to-end experience that is all integrated. So important, not having to send them to a bunch of systems. And the great thing is, when they're logging into their Biocanic portal, they can see all the supplements from Get Healthy. They're right there. They can order the supplements right there. You're not having to go off the platform or kind of really log into somewhere else necessarily. So it really does kind of bring all that together, and allows them to even order directly from their dashboard. So it makes it a really clean experience, I think, for everybody on that front.
Yeah, I think we have to remember that the people that we deal with, most of them are sick, and having multiple links that they have to log into, even affiliate links. I did the affiliate game too, and I have to say, I didn't know where to go to get paid half the time because every affiliate software is different. And then I was like, what's my password, right? So I can't imagine what my clients felt like that we're dealing with Lyme or cancer. And I'm like, go over here and get this, or go over here. So they don't mean to circumvent us. They're just trying to get better, and they're trying to take the path of least resistance. We have to be that path in every way, shape, or form, which means exactly what you said, Nicole. We have to set these things up. And so you got to work on your business as much as you work in your business. And that doesn't mean you have to dedicate hours to it, but take an hour a week where you're figuring out something new in your business, or cleaning up a process, or creating something that is something that you say all the time, right? I mean, I finally created a Foundations of Health course. So when people onboard with me and they're brand new, I send them that course and I add it to my community. And I'm like, here's your free course. Go watch this. Learn how to eat right, think right, move right, poop right, pray right, do all the things right. So I don't have to tell you that eating fast food isn't healthy. So it saved me time. It took a little bit to build it. It took me a couple hours to record it and then get it up onto the system. But once it was done, it was gold.
And I want to kind of touch on that too. I did very similar thing. I had, 6 different pillars, and I had a video for each. And I'll say you can start with one. And if you're working with people and you're realizing you're saying the same thing about liver detox to everybody, and this is why we don't microwave and plastic, and this is why, you don't do all these things. But once you find yourself repeating that, and you'll see that in your practice. Oh, I say this to everybody. I do this with everyone. Make a video about it. Send that out. And I think you can also even do that, and you do that one at a time. So this is the first thing I'm repeating. And then I let out another one. And then I create another one. And I think we can also do that, bringing it back to the Get Healthy store. I think you can also do that when you're starting to see the patterns of what people are buying, or, hey, I know everybody who has this specific autoimmune, disease, or this, has dealt with mold, they're going to want this. So I know if they buy this product, they're going to want this. So maybe you just set up that one thing. And then once you start to kind of notice patterns and what people are buying and what they might be interested in and what will work for them ultimately, then you just kind of set those up as you see them and as you go along. And before you know it, if you do spend that 1 hour a week and really look at that, down the line, you've built a really powerful system.
Yeah, absolutely. You can build those on the front end of the store, right? Those are called bundles or product groupings. And those will live in a little tab called bundles. So the beautiful thing about a bundle package on the front of the store where your clients are going to come shop with you is that it's one URL. So say, Nicole, you wanted to go out and do a webinar on it. You can talk about your 3 products that you always give in synergy for a parasite cleanse or a candida cleanse or mold detox. This is where you start. This is where everyone starts. And you can just point to that one URL. You can even build a coupon. And so people can listen to your reel, your YouTube, whatever, your TikTok, and they can go and hit that link and they're right there. Our technology is so sophisticated that you can build what's called a buy now link. So they don't even land on the product page. They'll land in the cart with the products in the cart with the discount applied, and it just says buy now. Because in e-com, anytime someone's surfing through your website, let's say you have 100 people on a webinar, they come and they land on my store, then they have to go find the product, then they read about the product, then they have to put it in the cart, then they have to buy it. Every time someone clicks through like that, you lose 20% of the people who came to your site. So instead of having let's say 50 people come from a 100 people webinar, by the time we get to the cart purchase, there might be only 2 people. But if I can take those 50 people to the cart and they can buy it now, I might get 100% conversion, 50% conversion. Think of the revenue increase, right? And how many people you're helping. The other side of that is in your dispensary, when you're building recommendations, you can build those blueprints. So if you have a favorite mold protocol, Nicole, you can build it out with the products, tell them how much, how long to take it, give a description of why it works, attach a resource guide to it. Maybe it's a detox pamphlet or a nutrition plan to go with it. And so someone comes and sees you or says, hey, I'm really looking for a mold detox or a GI enhancement. You can say, well, send me your email and I'll actually send you my blueprint and my recommendation on how to do it. And so they send you an email, you put it in and you send it. We have an 87% conversion rate that we estimated and Get Healthy for our recommendations. So when you send someone a personalized recommendation, they do buy it. And so front or back, as a practitioner in clinic or a marketer out front, you can send people to your store or send a recommendation to them and have exactly what they need with the protocols in place and dosages with a resource guide attached. So very simple.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I want to talk a little bit about GetHealthy Script. It is your newest solution around centralizing dispensing. Can you walk through specifically what that solution is and why it matters, especially with the current kind of regulatory environment?
Yeah, I think sometimes people just want a simple tool just to dispense products. Now, our scripting tool is just a dispensary. There's no storefront. It is branded to Get Healthy. So there's a few things that I usually tell people. If you're looking for a front-end shopping experience for your customers, for them to come and like shop your store like I have, then you want the store concept because that has the dispensary already built into it. But if you just need a tool to script products to people and you want products across all wellness categories and you want to be able to script them blood work, labs, specialty tests, etc., while all that's available in the store, this is now available in Get Healthy Script, and it's a free tool. It's a great way to just start out if that's what you need. And even if you have an established practice and you don't want to deal with a front-end shopping experience, you just need a way, that's the best way to do it. So Get Healthy Script is an option. We just launched that about 3 months ago, just to serve the needs of those people who were like, I don't really want a store. I just want a way to get, the product into my patient's hands, but I need a place that they can come and have a private profile and be able to see that recommendation. That's what Get Healthy Script is.
Amazing. Yeah, making it just as easy as possible for entrants, and then they can kind of grow from there into maybe their full store as they start to get going.
Yes, our technology is the technology that grows with your growing practice. So you can start with Get Healthy Script, move into the Get Healthy Store at a very low $99 a month. You get everything that I just talked about. And then you get more marketing features as you grow and as you need that with our higher packages. But it's not necessary. You can just start with Get Healthy Script and begin helping your clients and patients be more compliant and gaining revenue so that you can hire your weakness, so you can grow into these things. And then you can get your Biocanic and you get your Go High level, and you can really start influencing the way that you're meant to do, because there's so much misinformation out there on health. I'm just waiting for my colleagues just to jump up and actually just tell the truth about what actually works for people, because there's no like a clinician to tell the truth on what actually works. We're actually in the chair. A lot of these influencers you see, they're not clinicians. So I think it's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a good
no
point.
offense against them. They're great. But
No,
you're not in the chair.
Well, because as a practitioner, you're also getting the messages as like, hey, I saw this thing on Instagram. And you're like, this person who may or may not be somebody who is very knowledgeable. There are some very knowledgeable people on there, but sometimes they're not, and you're having to kind of educate them on that. Yeah. And I do love, the way that you make that. It sounds like Get Healthy Script really makes it an easy entrance for people to start using Get Healthy. And I think we do that, in Biocanic as well. If you are a Biocanic user, we connect you to our Get Healthy so you can start making revenue directly from there. You don't even really need to do a setup. You just need to connect it. And so once you start making those recommendations, those can show up right in the platform, direct you right to the link for your clients or patients to buy right from Biocanic, right from their portal. And there's not really any setup. So kind of getting started there, checking out the store, and then moving up, it sounds like as a practice starts to grow and they have that, additional kind of patient client revenue stream.
Yes. And I love how you guys do that, because you just make it so simple for them. And that's what practitioners want. Every time I see a new software, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to learn that now, you know, and it's hard. So I think just making it easy. My dog is here. So just making it easy is good. And when your dog needs your attention, you know, I like it's easy. So I do love that about Biocanic. I love how we set up our partnership too. And then they just grow into their own store and their own brand. You guys have really thought it through as well when it comes to, you know, just new practitioners and practitioner growth.
Thank you. I feel like, you know, very much like you, we want to be the platform where people can start their business and grow their business. You're not going to have to add on a million tools when you grow your business. It's going to all be there for you. You can maybe add on Go High Level as you start to grow, but everything is kind of integrated rather than having to put together multiple systems. And, you know, now we have, you know, the introduction of Nexus, which is our, you know, AI agent, as well as being able to see practice-wide analytics. And what I love about this is that it can also see your supplement recommendations. So when you're trying to use, you know, practitioners now, a lot of them are using AI, but if you'd like to pull all those data points together, see how the labs, see how the CGMs, you know, see those correlations, and then say, hey, maybe can you look through the supplements and see if there are duplicate ingredients in the supplements, or can you, you know, look at this and make recommendations based on my supplements? And it actually looks at the ones that are in there. So if you're using GetHealthy Store, you're putting those in there, it's going to recommend those same ones rather than just kind of random ones, or who knows what you might be getting. I mean, I have big thoughts about using the general AI for practitioners. I won't go there, but, you know, I do think I love having GetHealthy integrated for that reason, because it does kind of pull those supplements directly from your store then as well.
Oh, I love that agent. Jeremy showed that to me and I was like, this is a game changer, you know, because having that aggregate data and being able to have it right in front of you, it's a practitioner nightmare to like open this file. You have like 42 tabs and you're bouncing between them, and it really is. So when he showed me that, I was like, oh, Jeremy, I was like, this is great. It's like, so it's really a cool tool.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see here. We are running up on time. I want to make sure we save some time for the Q&A for any comments that we might have from viewers or listeners. So let's do one more question. Where is GetHealthy Store headed over the next 2 to 3 years? What are you most excited about in terms of how the platform is evolving to meet the needs of the next generation of health practitioners?
Yeah, well, you know, AI is on the front, so that's where we're heading. We just released Jane, Jaine, you know, AI, in the back end of the store. So this is a catalog optimizing agent. Basically, with 12,000 SKUs, nobody has time to figure out how many brands we have, how many products. So I can get back there and use Jane and ask Jane, like, hey, can you find me products that can help with PCOS? And she will search the entire catalog based on the details that are given. And she'll come up with 17, 27, 43 products, whatever it is. She will also tell you whether they're in your store or not and give you the option to add it to your catalog, because our catalog is not the one that's on every individual store. We allow for the practitioners to pick their own catalog. So that's a beautiful tool, because I can go back there and find new products, discover new products, read about new products. And she'll also educate me on the condition. So she goes through an education. It's just a really cool tool we came out with. On the front end of the store, soon to be released, is Amy. And Amy is going to be a shopping agent. Now, she is going to be legally compliant. She will not cure, treat, or diagnose any disease, but she's going to help your patients who come to your store find product that they're looking for quicker. Which, you know, searching a store, sometimes you get confused, you get overwhelmed. So someone could be there and be like, hi, Amy, I'm looking for something for my son for his belly aches, and I want it in the price range of this. He also only likes chewables. We'll go shop the store and come back and say, hey, I found these 3 products that have been listed as a digestive aid. These things could potentially help support him. They are chewable. Here's 5 different flavors. So it's just going to help it. And then our next gen of Amy is going to be trainable Amy, which means if you have a niche within your practice, you're going to be able to train Amy to take people that ask specific questions to your own private label if you want. Take them to protocols or bundles that are on your store. So that's what's happening in the next few months coming through GetHealthy.
Oh, that's really exciting. Kind of like a just digital personal assistant as you're shopping.
Yeah, and keeping her legal eagle. So none of us look good in
100%.
orange. We want to make sure we're compliant with, just supporting and making sure people are finding what they want. Any medical questions would be directed back to the practice.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. That's really exciting. And I think right now it's like you can't really get away from AI. Either you're going to use it and incorporate it and do it in a way that is in integrity and that really helps the practitioners that you're working with, or you're going to kind of get left behind. So I think you all have found a really great way to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's exciting.
Yeah. So let's see if there are any questions from the audience. I'll let them kind of chat in here. One other question. Are there practitioners, I'm curious, that you've worked with who have used kind of the revenue from product growth or the product revenue rather than continuously seeing clients and kind of had that almost take over or replace or surpass maybe what they were doing in their practice, or maybe they started seeing less clients because of it?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a couple that have optimized an AI agent. So we have the ability, if a practice has an AI agent, let's say it helps like Biocanic, right, aggregate data, but say they have a tool that will analyze that data and then give a recommendation based on whatever that AI agent was trained. We have a way that they can connect through what we call sales fusion into our catalog. Now they need a store, but their tool then can learn our catalog and make recommendations based on what they train. So we've had, some clinicians who embrace this AI agent and have scaled their business, not based on one-to-one transactions, but based on AI agent data. So that's up and coming, and it is an option. We've had other influencers who started out, making recommendations, then learned how to do one-click upsells, then learned how to do cart bumps, learned how to build bundles, apply discounts, do buy now links, and went from $5,000 a month to $30,000 to $40,000 a month. Does that free up some time in the chair with clients? 100%. It's to allow them to continue to scale. I don't think just having a store is the only answer. I think it is an answer, but I also think good marketing software, nurturing flows like Go High Level is really important. I think maintaining the care and quality of care of people that you are working with and staying organized and using Biocanic. I think it's the synergy of tools that really helps people amplify. I think there's relevance. And I am your living testimony of GetHealthy Store. When I came and worked here in 2021, I was making $0 a month online selling. And now I make $30,000 a month online selling, and I do it very part-time because I work at GetHealthy full-time. But I still have a clinical practice, but I only practice two blocks of hours a week. So a Tuesday night block and a Thursday block. But it helps me stay relevant in the field because I can actually apply the concepts that I'm thinking about, learning about, doing data-driven decisions. So the simple answer is yes, you can scale your practice and get freedom, and you can do it 100% and get 100% out of the chair if you want, but it will take more than just the store. You have good organization, marketing, and that's where I was saying, hire your weakness, connect your tools, have software that talk. It matters if that's your goal and dream.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it does. It all comes back to your initial kind of reputation, really establishing yourself as that voice, that trusted voice, establishing yourself as the expert. And then once you do that, getting the right tools to help you scale so that you don't have to be, it's not all your time that's making your money. Or you can create, your own little AI clone, it sounds like, and really get yourself there. That's so interesting.
It's pretty interesting. We've seen it all. So
we are in the future. So there is an audience question for a practitioner who is already using FullScript for supplement recommendations. What does GetHealthy Store offer that FullScript does not? And is there a reason to use both, or can GetHealthy replace it entirely?
Yeah, that's a great question and a common question. So I always answer it honestly. I started out with FullScript. I love FullScript. It served my needs, but I got to a point where I got overwhelmed with affiliate links, and I wanted a more connected experience for myself and my clients to be able just to send them to one place. Initially, that transition for me was like, okay, what products am I using? Are they on the Get Healthy catalog? Now, 5 years ago, when I came into the practice, we have built our dispensary tool to be extremely practitioner friendly, and our front end ecom platform, just because I think I brought the practitioner view. Mm-hmm. So FullScript, they offer supplements and lab tests. We offer 8 wellness categories, as I said before. So you can recommend not only supplements, but nutrition. You can recommend energetics like the Nikki watch. You can recommend all your favorite red light panels, PEMF, water shower filters, water purifiers, RO systems. Like, just think about how you practice, personal care items, cleaning products. And we have a full integration for lab testing and specialty tests, which means when somebody purchases, so we can create a marketplace for testing on the front of your store, or you can recommend a test, blood serum and specialty. When somebody either buys or gets the recommendation, we have integrated 100% with Avexia Diagnostics. So they'll create a patient profile under my already set profile in Avexia, associate the email if they already have a profile, and then the person paid for the test already, they receive the requisition or the test gets sent out. And when the results come in, they get put into the patient profile in my store and also into my practitioner profile. So I don't have to go to multiple places to see results. So that's a big differentiator. You know, the marketplace for testing over at FullScript is, you know, basically it's not a full 360. The results aren't coming in. Good or bad, I'm just giving the differences. So I think the multiple product catalog, I think the testing, and then finally, in the store, at Get Healthy Store, when it's your store, we do not third-party market your client list. And I can't say that about FullScript. And what does that mean? Well, they might send out marketing emails suggesting a multivitamin that's a lower price because your patient, you recommended a multivitamin to, they bought it, and now FullScript knows that through all of their data collection, and they'll send out a recommendation to them in the form of a marketing email that says, hey, you bought this, why not buy this cheaper product? Mm-hmm. Well, as a practitioner, I don't want a third party recommending supplements to my people. I mean, I have people with mast cell activation and cancer, and they're sensitive, and I can't have them on different products. The issue was when that was happening to me at FullScript, my clients thought it was me, and so they would buy it. And then they would have a reaction to it. And I was like, hold on a second. I don't want these emails. What's happening over here? So with Get Healthy, we protect your client list. That's your client list. You can export it at any time. You have full control over it. We do not third-party market, and we don't let brands market to them. We also don't let brands market to our healthcare professionals either. We do not sell your information. Mm-hmm. So if you receive marketing emails from brands, it's because there was a webinar you signed up with and they gained access through the webinar. We do those things, but we're not selling your data. That's important. So those are a few differentiators. The other thing is we have API integrations with brands, so we can offer the full line of products that a brand has, and we're not warehousing them, which means we don't run out of product. So you're not going to find out of stock product unless the brand itself is out of stock. Mm-hmm. So that's probably the biggest things that for me, I was like, those are the things that matter to me and why I went from FullScript to Get Healthy.
Yeah. And I think those are all very valid, especially that last point, you know, being just owning your data and your own clients and patients and not having them being marketed to and not having them get confused. I think
right.
that alone would be its own selling point, but I love all those points that you brought up. So you also mentioned that Get Healthy Store powers over 350 wellness brands. For a practitioner who wants to create their own branded product line rather than just reselling existing brands, does Get Healthy Store support that? And what does that process look like?
Yeah, a lot of practitioners have private label. You know, they've come to that level where, you know, they want to protect their brand. They want to emphasize their brand. They don't want people circumventing them and buying branded products that are now selling on Amazon. Totally get it. So we can do a couple things for that practitioner. first of all, we can put all those products on your store, which is great. So now you have a digital, picture of your product, the description, and your retail price. We can send an email to you or a notification to you that someone bought the product and you can fulfill it. But we also offer warehousing and fulfillment of your private label. So whatever company you're dealing with, you have your private label purchase, that brand then sends that product to us. This also would apply to custom products that you're having manufactured. If you're at that level, congratulations. We can warehouse, fulfill, and ship your product when somebody orders it off your store. We can take you completely out of the equation, which is where I personally would like to be. So we also use a system for inventory management that we sign you up with. You can see the inventory. It will help you with projections. It'll also ping you when you're low on inventory, or we can ping your rep and say, hey, Sarah, Dr. Smith is low on their SKU. We need a shipment sent to Get Healthy so we don't run out. Because the worst experience is an out of stock experience. Mm-hmm. So that rep can notify the doctor that a shipment is being sent out. So we try to, again, make it easy, inventory management. So we do provide those services, private label, inventory management, and shipping. And we also can build your product SKUs right on your store so people can shop your SKUs, and you can build recommendations from them as well.
Oh, I love that. When you talk about really supporting people as they get started from where they are to really, as far as they want to expand. I mean, I think that really shows how far people can really go depending on what level they are and, how big they are, how they're growing and scaling. So amazing. We've got a couple more questions here. I guess kind of on that note, what is the realistic revenue potential for a solo practitioner with a client base of about 50 to 100 active clients who sets up a Get Healthy store? And are there any practitioners you can point to who maybe started small and built meaningful supplemental income through the platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So first, 50 to 100 active clients is great. So you have people that already know, like, and trust you and are purchasing. If you are building recommendations for them with an 85 to 87% conversion rate, and the average cart, right, is about $200 to $250, mm-hmm. Do the math. You're looking at, $3,000-$5,000 a month on potential revenue. Now I know you can't see 100 clients a month, so take it with a grain of salt. But you're looking at, $2,000 to $5,000 just in recommendation revenue. Now think about if you would host a class once a month where you just invited the followers from your Facebook page or your Instagram page, or you do something like Biocanic does and do a live stream about your favorite 3 products for metabolic dysfunction. Now you're using it as a lead gen potential and also getting product sales. So, we see people that sell, on average, our stores are selling around $2,500 to $5,000 a month. That's probably a good average for that clientele base. But again, we have our top sellers selling $250,000 a month. The revenue is there, guys. Supplement sales, I promise you it's there. You're not going to sell, I can't say this. I can't say you're not going to sell 5,000 out of the gate, because we've had a couple of people on board and out of the gate, they sell $5,000. And I'm like, what are they doing? And let's go talk to them. So I'm not going to say that, but you will sell product, and it takes 3 product sales to make up for your $99 a month. That's it. 3 products a month. Can you sell 3? I mean, my 12-year-old son could sell 3 products a month. You can do it. And you're already doing it. You're just not getting paid for it because you're selling the product for Amazon, and all your patients are going over there and buying it because you don't have a store. So either get with Biocanic and start recommending so you get used to the tool that they have attached already to their software, and then you can scale into your own custom store, which is what I would recommend. And then that way, all your patient data, your brand, everything is there. It's not as hard as you think to sell supplements.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the kind of patient data side of it. I know HIPAA compliance and data security are definitely top of mind for practitioners. How does the Get Healthy store handle client data privacy? I know you kind of touched on this as far as, not marketing to them, making sure that they're yours. But just kind of on the compliance side of, an online health ecommerce storefront.
Yeah, our software is equipped with roles and permissions. So if you have staff members, other practitioners, you do have the capability to restrict visibility in the back of your store based on roles and permissions. Even so much so as to templates that you build back there, you can restrict the views between doctors. So you can even get more granular. On the patient side, there's two ways that people can come in and shop your store. One, they can shop like a guest on Amazon. So if you've ever shopped something and you just had to give your email and an address, that's simply so that you can get a receipt for the purchase and they know where to ship the product. So that's very common across all e-com is they collect your email and your address so that you get the receipt and receive the product. You don't necessarily have to have a login or a profile. At GetHealthy Store, we also have that capability. So if patients are in your care and you're going to send them a recommendation, they have to log in to a secured profile. That way, that data is just not out on the internet where anyone can see it. So they log in, with their password, two-factor authentication, and they can get their recommendation. They can also see their past orders. They can house their credit card in there, all of the things. So we do try to protect the data. Again, we're not selling that data to anyone or sharing that data. We don't keep your patient lists docked somewhere in a secret compartment. They are housed on your URL on your store. And so we do try to stay compliant with that. So team member, role permission and sharing, and then profile protection for your patients so that they have to log in to see their more sensitive data that you're sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for going over all of that. I think we are coming up on time here, and this has been a great discussion. So I want to thank all of you who joined us today, all of you who asked us questions. If you're watching the replay or listening to this, feel free to still post your questions, put them in the comments, and we will come back and kind of answer those below as well. Thank you again, Tracy, for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about where people can find you, more information about you, as well as how to get started with Get Healthy?
Yeah, I'm on all the social media channels, just Tracy Stroup ND. You can find me anywhere. And with Get Healthy, we do offer free demos. So if I didn't answer your questions, you want to see the software, you want to see what fits for you, whether it's script or store, please visit our website. I know Biocanic has a link that they can share with everybody here, and we can get you started with a free demo. You get to talk to actually a real person so that they can answer your business questions and see if this is the right fit. So thank you guys as well for everything you're doing for the industry, and Nicole for your time today. I appreciate having the opportunity to share all this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I am such a fan of any way that we can really help reduce admin burden for the practitioners, as well as really give them the tools to help scale their business in a way that has really high integrity as well. I do want to say, if you are a Biocanic subscriber or user, to get started with Get Healthy, it's very easy. It's already there in your supplement manager. So you just need to go to your supplement manager and there will be a button and you can start searching for products immediately and kind of get the feel for it. And then maybe move on to your own store when you're ready for that. So thanks again. We'll drop all the show links, all of your plugs below in the show notes, and join us here every Thursday. We do a live stream, and please subscribe wherever you might listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, etc. Thanks everybody for joining.